many people are still concentrating on the idea that people should look at pictures and contemplate. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, that we should also contemplate, right? So contemplation is something important in this kind of relationship. And the other nouns they use also to explain that kind of relationship. In the second phase, they observed that there was then more integration between viewer and image. And this is the reason why the words they call the attention to is observation. So the difference I see between contemplation and observation is that people started finding a certain identification, and I'm going to count on the other words they point out, right? So identification, a certain recognition. So it was like looking at pictures and images and photographs and enjoying them and contemplating at the same time, and also thinking that there was a certain identification between the image and them, and they as observers or viewers of that image, right? So this is a different behavior or a different relationship, I would say, right? In a third phase, then, this is then why I rescue this kind of theory in order to think a little bit more about meaning making. Is phase 3? It is now the one that represents or that explains a bit the relationship in digital language. And the words they highlight is interaction. Interaction why? Because it's not only contemplating, it is also contemplating, but not only. It's also observing, but not only. But it's also interaction. And in this sense, interaction refers also to agency. That is, my interference with the image I see and being able to make meanings. Meanings that were not given before. I can consider the meanings that were given before, probably let's say, the expert explanation about a certain image sometimes is, many times I have the chance to. However, I can also feel empowered, okay, let's say, let me use this word between inverted comma, to make meaning or to make changes in this image. Because digital language now allows me to make changes in the image I interact with. I can even do that if I have the right tool, if I know how to, okay, and so on. Is that okay for you so far? Let me know if I'm not clear. If I make connections, okay, or even if you do not agree, let me know. I like to know that as well, right? So this is something when I came across this comic, okay, and on the Sunday paper, okay, which was just a few days ago, I found it interesting. You see, so let me try saying in English. You can understand? Yeah. I'm sorry, sir, but Dostoevsky is not considered a beach reading or reading to be done on the beach, while on the beach. Please, you follow me. So this is showing a certain control about what you do where, right? But this reminds me of the contexts and the boxes into which we used to classify knowledge and appropriateness, or what could or should be done. That makes us teachers very pleased with the idea that we can have a certain control, okay? Yeah, we love this kind of control, and why shouldn't we, right? I always wonder. But anyway, at the same time that we have this certain control, let's say, the control of organizing knowledge into boxes, into their right boxes, at the same time, this does not make much sense anymore. You see? So this is the reason why this kind of image made me stop and think, understanding why do I stop to think about this proposal, okay, about this image? This is the reason why I started to think about it.
Doesn't make sense, but it still happens.
It does.
Like we had this football match the other day with the football player Ganso, who decided to celebrate by having a mask.
My team, I know. But
And
Neymar,
because of that, Neymar, not Neymar. I
already had a yellow card. If it was for the first time, you would just be.
What's wrong with that? Okay. Okay, maybe another mini making, however, we still have the rules. So this is the struggle I referred to, right? So the struggle that we have to face, right, in language and communication and education in society, right? Because at the same time, the rules are here to help control, and they are necessary. At the same time, more mini makings can happen, right? Okay. So. Grass is going again to highlight something. Sorry, it's 2000, not 200, right? So, however, at times we tend to shield ourselves from these changes, not wishing them to be the case, treating them as peripheral. You know what happens sometimes? This is not according to the rules, or the rules don't say so. So this is something, you know, to be forgotten, or something that I'm not going to include in my class, or something that I'm not going to accept because this goes against the rules. You see, however, it doesn't reflect the struggle that we live in society. So what is assumed? The assumption that there is a local for mini making in disciplines or areas that require it, but not all of them require mini making. So people have already started thinking about mini making, however, understanding that mini making is possible in certain areas, disciplines, moments, but not possible in others, if it were possible to control people's making meaning, right? So, I just came to just bring something. This is a quotation in Portuguese where they say that teachers must face the challenge of what? Of getting prepared to do a new reality, learning how to deal with basic resources and planning ways of making use of them in their classrooms. Okay, this is a rough translation. Okay, just because I'm speaking English, so I'm just trying to be a little bit coherent, let's say. So just sometimes. So this Pereira then in this book about the digital society, digital literacy, is saying something. I'm how do I say this? I'm trying to alfinetar the university. How you can help me please with this? Folk, oh, good idea. To Folk University, in relation to the teacher education centers, what has been done to prepare professors or teachers for this kind of reality, right? So you feel familiar with this kind of
struggling to do that here.
Yeah. Okay. So. Does it make sense to you? Is this a question that you feel familiar with? So this is then something that I've been thinking a little bit during some time, and I give you just 2 ideas. Okay, I've been working with new literacies, with new teacher education concepts, and the multimodality and the idea of mini making. What is it? First of all, I've rescued for some time already the concept developed by Kress that is called what? Synesthesia? Do I say it like this in English? Yeah? You will say synesthesia?
Exactly.
Thank you, Diana. So, the concept of synesthesia, you feel familiar with? You do. You know it by heart. Can I skip it?
No.
No. Okay, I'm going to mention this just in a few seconds. And the second one is by widely promoting mini making under hermeneutic perspective. So, for me to develop mini making, I decided to bring some knowledge of hermeneutic to promote this, considering the concept of rupture. If you're familiar with, I'm going to speak a little bit about it, but can I skip it already? No? Okay. Alien perspectives. This is a concept that has been recently developed, and I learned it from a text that was sent us by Bill from Diana Center. So I found it very, very, very good. Okay, to add to what I've been reading. Through Other Eyes projects. This is a project developed by Lynn Mario and Vanessa Andreotti that I think you feel familiar with. Lynn Mario has been here. I'm not going to focus on this, considering that Lynn Mario has come here and has probably spoken to you about it, right? So anyway, but it's a very, very nice, and it's similar to the other concepts that I'm going to tell you a bit about, right? So, what do I mean by that? Look at this again. So, at the same time, trying to promote some multimodality by showing you texts that are written and by showing you images and trying to make connections between all modalities, okay? The ones that we have contact today. Look at this. What meaning do you make? You say, Walkyria, this is so obvious that I'm not even going to say. Is that what you think? Okay. The idea is, okay, I'm going to show you the way that I interpret, right, the image. I see influence from technology, okay, in our heads, okay. So there is close interaction between what we do and eating. So this is for me something that reminds me of the studies developed by Maturana when he mentions our relationship with digital language, right? He thinks that the computers learn from man, and man learn from the computers. You're going to say, obvious, but it's interesting to think because the computers have been developed based on studies about how our brain and our communication work. So computers were developed learning from man, and they let's say they bring a lot of knowledge that many times we do not have access to, right? So that means that at the same time that we interact with this machine that has learned from us, we are going to learn with the machine at the same time. Of course, this is also my mini making of Maturana, but maybe you have different ones. And if you want to add something or say something about it, just feel comfortable to it, right? Yes?
When I look at the image, it seems that it's not something easy to do, okay? So it's something, so because they are hitting the head.
It seems they are making changes in someone's head, right? So that it operates, okay, accordingly, okay?
But it looks painful.
It looks painful for him, right? But it's not painful to us, is it? That's the idea, okay? That's why I think I also had a certain identification, and of course, you see, understanding that image-viewer relationship, at the same time that I have identification, I'm also interacting with this image, making meaning to it. See? This is what I meant by that theory presented before.